mia khode de fia tokere chu togbo kula ma chicho jagbo ta mi da ku makai awde de fia mana togbo makai awde de fia ne mole jajra do mola kama mi ayra wanaji okay mi ayra wanaji okay, ta mia awade de fia tokere chu.
Assalamu alaikum. Amen, amen, amen. Mia no vi Muslim so jole mia dume. Mia no tuha o ya o se ga ke kukuku be ma wade de fia. Ta maka gble iburo ta ma je go ma chonyo du si mele filele. Menya mesia ma jema de fia America ve tondo menya de fia kuri ne me da me de fia odi ne ka kwa vivi de o yi nwe chomeri mi abeti mi awe ta afato gele he le vile eko ye vunga tinu bu nu ho bunga tinu de yanye togwe akompi yanye tongo ahon duota pola alu le English igbe me we regent Apato velia yanye upi yanye dikru le tongo chana kwe apato gemigale odusime eko sikakuku wutari yanye togwe jamampuni yenye jemeni fiaga apato gebe tavodi onguye bien yenye me Mahama gbojidu we maka gboje na invere gbo okabana watu no de fia obamano de fia le nye to meri dukorola koko Mahama hebe yaka yi nanyebe mia togbo afu nukuli agbo ava mia de fie wanywe wa ko wanywere nabe afoto gele he kata o konfano chi do gele he bubulu togwe sika kukudu la hari ya nye trafu echo Kpeve afoto gele he ka amesia me male fimiri akpo ape bedima de mila megba we de fia le mia ogbo yegbe da apetore kado enu ngati nubu nungere ile edoye kule ibo meri yanye togwe agbinani yenye Kpeve nutume amankradu ga aloma le tepewa zibotova mi yobe zibo mia tore me zibo akame zibo ya no to ojo ma to tari no we vire gba fe maka yiji kemia yiji togwe de kabubulu togwe vere ha enye togwe ga de ka odusime enye togwe ajen yenku enye adontihini of Parliament traditional area enye kanye todo mefia oyo meto amengimi ka tere unye togwe agbonu ya jere efianyo le todo me akay okuro bete wadika tai mi afia bilibo de kanye ya che emi kale ngudon la yon de ebubulo fle ela forma be asanti yon fia enye mi mama tomelo atonlia enelia enye tongonu tome yon fia ga me dima we apodona je konu ye blata ale gankwime anye to parliamento miabe amankrado yonu fia togbe dake diebede evelia apono de buluaka yanye miabe nkoso hima alo ngoyi yonu fia le parliament dugan amipaso da todo melhor via tongo mangradu non via mewevo am susobete o tongo am susobete chiami obete nabe abemi aka yigire apeto gele hebulo sipi koko reji akanye de Kpeve jede anya nu tepe pola Matthew akere won tepe onya meto okrata lo huma mejere edengo yanye togbe akudompe henye Kpeve nu to mefiaga edikika bere hamono chafe chokpe akudompe bere togbe akudompe bere au ile akane pali hebale yin tongo male yin wori ma do na we to ba kudompe odu sime mi ga po togbere ake obe ya ka zu togbere ni e ka ko akokoro wa vire e ko sikanu obu kome togbe gan atikpla ja agbiyawo enyilia enyemi pali menu to me fiaga mede wadonti hinifia hoho mede fia obete fia tanyi ntonya anyo nwenye ni evo
ayo akpe biswa sikole na de wana mata fifia mali otala mi ajo kola ta le mi afa agbala je fia la mi ana monu popo togbega akunupe be enya suerele si ta mi ko sikole gan ka akọ togbe be enya suerele si wana duko alo bavala
Nde nami aro indomi ndo nami ndawele doji former president His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, regional chairman, other executives present, Togbo, Mama, all protocol observed. I will be delivering this speech in Ewe, so everybody should look for the lawyer and the interpreter as well. Mia Kpeve Bali Tongo Middle Way Zona Dupola Koko Eye mi puj echine be ebe do wa na ke ho jego me be ya ba wale mi agbode na de eblu mi nya be heyi ke to me de ya o tie na de mi ahun ejo bai mi di be akodada ke ade fafa ne no me how acha iduo mede mi bia fafa akodada melemo na kunu pele be amewe enu ohia mi fun gake maton gboronya de ke ne me ho jidudu tamia na wa yi agbova ejo dele Kpeve Bali Tongo si ne mi se nei Yanto anya bede. Il va du demain au yobe Kpeve Kpali Tongo et fiala aussi. Tam mi biabe ebe do wanade. Ho akavane wa vai fafane no me. Ngogbe ne kone. Beno yide. Wa botrova ne mi sajo ne vole. Ka pe ko dawe ava. Ne gbogbo ka pe ko dawe neva. Kemi ne mi sajo ne vole. Mi apete mi akonu. Mi abe moke ko va bayi. Ko vaya amova bale do wala moji. Ko nya joko ami ochojo. Elle mi abe susu me, le mi abe ta me. Be mi avota ya, mi abe mokwe. No ya cho bridge eko ever. If you dodge one, you take 5 free. Mi de kukune, be mi abe mo ekale. Enya le mi asi gake magbele fio. Ya tambe ne yi ne gbova. Tamo mene fane na ide na yi primawu boko fafane na ene apena mi
ayo akpe fifia mi na re wanaji fifia mi afa MP ano jajarado alabe ade amekpekpe tokhe akele mi adome egbe afia kake afi MP ano jajarado wona mala mi de mi adejesi amaro mi adome afia kulo ma chichiwo mi nya be mi adome ta mi akwasi kulo nawo driver o kula okara riders o le mi adome mi kwasi kulo nawo asimenyo nu kulo nchu mi dejesi o le mi afa gbanajile fi mi kwasi kulo nawo nous fiala au kule docteur Kewa la kata mi fasi kule nao sofu kule chief imam o kata ole mi adome kule amekwe kwere siare la wa fasi kule gana gana o e ata fifia mi azamon ko ayesu amefa choboy fifia mi azamon ko ade apetovi mi ape se ota ko mi la roxin des kwa mi eche da pia me ko sikule bo ade amekwe akofia mi Ezu amefa ma dejesi togbe akudompe woda kelia togbe atiplaja ni ekpalifi agan mama tomelo pleun fi ocho tongo ple amebubu amepepo bete be mi a NDC egbe ya woda kokwe mi gede ekpali Kpeve tongo menye yanfo mi cho mitia afeto kokko esese fo nu nyere afeto he dutu kwa la vai afeto du vice president remi vai du minister vai du deputy minister vai du MP vai du director of communication vai ta egba hemi vala mitibe midde his excellency John Dramani Mahama play a friend of Professor Nana Jenopokwa Jimao tickets. Na wafonu na enya kekele sine Kpali Kpeve tongo kule South Down to Kola wade fiami ta akpanemi.
Tagwigo Mamao, citizens of the 3 traditional areas, Kpeve, Kpali, and Tongo, residents of Kpeve, I want to thank you for the warm welcome that we have received. As we are aware, we have elections coming up at the end of this year on 7th December 2020. And the Electoral Commission embarked on a registration exercise I want to thank all of you for the seriousness and enthusiasm with which you approach the registration exercise. I hope all of you are registered. I hope you've all registered. I want to thank you for coming out in your numbers and registering. And I want to ask you to also take note of the exhibition of the voters' register. After they compile the register, they will bring it and exhibit it. The seriousness with which you approach the registration exercise, kindly approach the exhibition of the register with the same seriousness. Because sometimes in processing the register, a name can get omitted. And that's why they do the exhibition. So that if you go with your card, they will look in the register and make sure your name is there. If you don't go and check, it could be that your name has been omitted. And on the D-Day, when we're going to vote, if you appear with your card and your name is not on the register, you cannot vote. So please, when they announce the date for exhibition, the way you came out in your numbers and registered, please come out in your numbers again and check the voters register to make sure your names are there. And I also hope that on 7th December, we're going to come out in the same numbers to come and vote. Because this election is a very critical election. It is going to determine the destiny of this nation for the future. That vote that you're going to cast on 7th December is going to determine the future of yourself, your children, and your children's children. When I arrived, I got up for just a minute and entered my friend Setoji's dressmaking business. He's got 15 apprentices that he is training. And I asked him, how's business? He says, oh, well, it's not as good, but they are doing the best they can to survive. It is small businesses like this that build the Ghanaian economy. That you train somebody. Setoji attended technical school, and he finished and came and set up this business. It is small businesses like this that make the Ghanaian economy go round. It makes the Ghanaian economy progress. And so when you train one person with a skill, and they also go and set up a business, then they employ other people. And when they train other people, they also set up a business. It can be dressmaking, it can be hairdressing, it can be welding, it can be auto mechanic, it can be carpentry, it can be masonry. But these are the people on whose backs the economy of this nation is built. And that is why I said in Ho that one of the policies our government is going to bring is to help stimulate small businesses like this. And so for small businesses like Setoji's business and all these little businesses that Ghanaians own, we are going to exempt them from paying corporate income tax so that they can reinvest their capital in their business. And so for businesses doing a turnover of less than 200,000 Ghana cedis, they will not pay corporate income tax. So that any profit they get, they can reinvest it in expanding the business and employing more people. I also talked about medium-sized businesses. And I said that for medium-sized businesses, these are businesses that do business below 2 million Ghana cedis. When you are setting up a business, the first year is the most difficult year because at that time you are investing. And so when you are investing and setting up a business in the first year, why would government come and say, pay me tax? That is when you need all the money to make sure that the business is firm. And so I also announced that for medium-sized businesses that do up to a turnover of 2 million and that employ up to 20 people, for the first year when they are investing, they will not pay corporate income tax. And for those that employ 20 people and above, for
For the first 2 years, when they are setting up the business, they will not pay any corporate income tax. This is the best stimulus we can give to indigenous Ghanaian business people so that they can invest in small and medium enterprises that build an economy. And so this stimulus would encourage our indigenous business people to set up their businesses, train others, and let the others to set theirs up. Now, one of the major problems that parents face is getting their children into apprenticeships. When I go on the streets of Accra, I see young people doing menial things, selling MTN cards and other things. And when you ask them, you say, but why are you doing this? Are you going to keep selling these things forever? He says, no. I'm selling this so that I can get capital to go and pay my apprentice fees and go and learn a trade. And so we say, okay, we'll introduce a national apprenticeship program and we'll register 200,000 Ghanaian young people. And we will get master craftsmen like Setoji so that the parents and the children don't have to struggle to find the apprenticeship fees to pay the master. Government will pay the apprenticeship fees on behalf of the children so that they can go and learn. And after they finish their apprenticeship, government will help them to set up on their own. So that if it's a sewing machine they need, we'll provide them with a sewing machine and then we'll see them off and they'll go and set up their own business. This is all in an effort to put our young people to work. Because if we do not train our young people and give them skills to work, then we'll see the kind of situation that we find ourselves in, where our young people are coming out of basic school, out of secondary school, out of all levels of the educational system, and they can't find work to do because they have no skills. And that's why I'm proposing to have free vocational and technical training. Anybody who opts to do technical and vocational training will not pay anything for the training. And we're going to create technical and vocational education training centers in every district so that everybody can have the opportunity to go and learn a skill and be able to go into the world of work. These are the kinds of opportunities that government must give its people. There are other issues I know that are local, and that includes the Eastern Corridor Road. It's in a very terrible state. And I know that if NDC was still in government, we would have finished this road by now. By the time we left office, contractors were working on every section of the road. As soon as we left, work came to a standstill. And it has been abandoned. If you look at the state of the road, we just came along this road. It's in a very terrible state. And you come into Kpeve town, and there's so much dust all over the place. And the dust creates all kinds of sicknesses, airborne diseases. And so Eastern Corridor is a #1 priority for me. Professor Mills was the one who envisioned this road because it's a very important link between the north and south of this country. The road starts from the Tema roundabout and goes all the way to the northeastern corner of Ghana, a place called Kulungungu. For those of you who are old enough, you remember there was a bomb thrown to try to assassinate Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in Kulungungu. This road is almost 700 kilometers long, and it goes through 21 districts from south to north. And you can imagine the goods that are transported along this corridor. A lot of the agricultural produce that we eat, maize, yam, everything, comes down this corridor. But the cost is high because the road is bad. And so the drivers charge more because it takes them longer to get to their destination. If you're coming from the far north and coming down the eastern corridor, you should prepare for at least 2 or 3 days traveling journey. And so we'll engineer this road and complete it as quickly as possible when we come back into office. We also intend to upgrade the Kpeve water project so that we can supply Kpali and Tongo with clean drinking water. NDC has a track record when it comes to infrastructure because we believe that infrastructure improves the living conditions of people. If you establish schools, then children get the opportunity to have an education. If you provide water, then people have clean drinking water and will not succumb to waterborne diseases. If you provide electricity, it gives people the opportunity to set up small and medium enterprises to be able to earn a living. If you build hospitals, it allows people to be able to have access to quality health care. And that is why I said that we're going to build a modern health facility in every district. And so Kpeve will get a district hospital. So that it can serve the whole of this catchment area. And so that people don't have to travel all the way to Ho to go and seek health care. My brothers and sisters, Ghana is a united country, and all of us are one people. We might be different, speaking different languages, eating different foods, with different cultural practices, but we are one and the same. And governments, as much as possible, must work to bring Ghanaians together and not tear them apart. And so NDC will run an inclusive government that sews Ghanaians together and does not tear them apart. And so let nobody think that you are inferior as a Ghanaian. You are an inferior Ghanaian. We are all equal. We are all the same. And it's only when we come together that we can build a prosperous nation. And so we'll continue the policy of inclusiveness instead of exclusion, because Ghana belongs to all of us. We are peaceful and we don't like violence. And so please, in the elections, let us go about our voting peacefully. But at the same time, let us not let anybody bring violence and attempt to disrupt the election. And so we put your ballot box in your hands. You, the people, must protect your ballot box, because your voice must count in this election. And so if anybody comes and attempts to disrupt the voting process in your community, you have a right to resist him. We will not invest in vigilantes. We don't need invisible forces and Delta forces and Bulgar bulldogs and all those vigilante groups. We trust in the power of the people to be able to make their voices heard. And so on that day, let's go about everything peacefully. There are many other programs that we have which we'll outline in our manifesto. But as you know, I selected my running mate. She's Professor Nana Jane Opokwa Jiman. Women have made great strides in our country and have occupied top positions in this country, but have never had the opportunity to occupy the two highest positions. And that is because none of the two major parties has ever fielded a woman as a running mate. This time we have the opportunity, not because she's a woman, but because she's well qualified to be the vice president of this country. And so, as she announced, in order to improve the welfare of women, for nurses, teachers, and all public servants, we've increased the period of maternity leave from 3 months to 4 months. Because in the first 3 months, the child is only breastfeeding. In the 4th month, the mother starts supplementary feeding with a little cocoa and all that in order to let the child grow properly. And so that is not the time to ask a mother to go back to work. And so we'll allow the mothers to stay for 1 more month and help the child to consolidate the supplementary feeding before they have to go back to work. I've seen your market here, and it doesn't befit the status of Kpeve at all. In our manifesto, we have said that we're going to re-engineer all the major district markets. And so I announced already in Germany that for Germany and Kpeve, we will build mini markets so that we can improve the environment for our women and others who are traders. And this is a program we're going to do under what I call the Big Push. We're going to invest $10 billion in improving infrastructure across the country. And part of that money will be applied to re-engineering all our markets so that it creates a good environment, not only for the traders, but for all those who come to shop in the market. And so let me thank you, Togwe, Mamao, and all the people of South Dai. I'll introduce our parliamentary candidate so that you know that he officially is the one who is standing for the NDC party in the South Dai constituency. He's a bright and smart young man, and he's making South Dai very proud in Parliament. As I said in Peki, South Dai, you have a tradition of choosing very bright people as your members of Parliament. I was in Parliament with Honorable Kwame Ampofo, and he was also fantastic when he was an MP. And he's been succeeded by this young man, Roxanne, who is also doing a fantastic job on your behalf in Parliament. So I'm going to raise his hand and officially endorse him as a parliamentary candidate. And so you know that when you vote for NDC in the presidential election, you also vote for Roxanne Dofiamepo in the parliamentary election. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Honorable Roxanne Dofiamepo. Thank you very much. God richly bless you. Mauna Irami. Akwe Kataka.
Okay, Akwe. Chief Imam Adogbera, no Adogbera Vokola. Untifa Baba group, one of Baba Nami, Alabe GM, Mia Togwe, Mia Mekwe Ano, Akla Togwe, Tap Baba Miano ready.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Mida Akpena, Miape presenter. Minye Hoho, Ape Ogava. Numi he dimi lecho egboa. Problem ele miagbo. Problema ele maugbo. Miko mau dare ngone. Bena mawa newo edokone. Unsemele miasio. miaya demi vote na mawa yenye jidula ye anabe ne
Suzuza. Arise for Ghana, oppression of the land. Forward and seek your future. Development our cause from